Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over this 11.5 inch BCM build. We're going to cover how this may be a perfect... I lost it again. What was it? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over this 11.5 inch BCM build. We're going to cover how this may be the perfect first build for you. So how is this the perfect first build for you? Well, the main reason this is such a good first build is it is a quality rifle for not a ton of money. So what we have here is an 11.5 inch upper BCM in brand, BCM bolt carrier group on a Smith & Wesson M&P lower. So you get a quality upper, which is where all the reliability, the accuracy, and all that kind of good stuff comes from, is from the upper. But we utilized a lower that we already had from a different gun that, really a lower, all it does is contain your lower parts kit in your trigger. So, you know, an Aero Precision lower, Smith & Wesson lower, you could get a BCM branded lower. They're all going to do the same thing. So we used a lower that we already had, saved money there. This upper was an 11.5 inch upper that had no rail on it. So it's just a stripped down upper receiver group, complete upper receiver group. And you have the leeway to put whatever rail you want in it. I have this Midwest Industries quad rail that I have attached. So that's the rail that I chose to go with. And this upper comes with a front sight post permanently fixed on here. So this is one of the cheaper BCM uppers that they offer, but it's still a solid BCM upper with a cold hammer forged barrel, which is a very, very good barrel. And it's just a good way to get a good gun for not a ton of money. Like I said, we utilized parts that we already had, and we got the cheapest upper available so that we could put whatever rail we want and just contain some of that modularity that we can choose to put what we want on there. So nowadays, everybody is all about red dot magnifiers or low power variable optics, but you know, for this gun and how it's set up, I'm not gonna be shooting past 200-300 yards all that often. And for that distance, this EOTech with no magnification is just fine. All right, so let's go over this build from front to the back. So up front, we have an AAC SDN6 suppressor. So this is a very old suppressor from like 2013's era. But I'll tell you, this is one of the quietest suppressors that I have ever shot. This is a 30 cal suppressor, so you can use it 308, 300 blackout, any 30 cal rounds. But I've got it here on a 5.56 gun, and it is super, super quiet. You know, I always advocate for people to always wear their hearing protection, but this is a suppressor that if you take a few shots unsuppressed, or if you take a few shots with no hearing protection in and you have the suppressor on, it is not bad at all. It doesn't even make your ears ring. But always wear your hearing protection, because if you shoot it many rounds, it'll start to damage your hearing. But a super good can. I don't know if they make these anymore, but if you are able to find one, they're like 600 bucks. It's a super, super good can. So just keep that in mind. But I have it on this 11.5 and I love it. It's heavy, it's big, but I'll take it because it suppresses this rifle so well. Coming on back, we have a front sight post. Like I said earlier, this upper comes with a front sight post fixed from BCM. So this is your built-in front backup sight. It's always there, always in place. And coming back further, we have a Midwest Industries quad rail. This is just a drop-in 2-piece quad rail. It's not a free float handguard by any means. So that is a slight downfall to this gun, is it's not free floated, but you know, an 11.5 inch barrel, you're not going to be shooting at 600 to 700 yards, you know, all the time. So it's fine for this build in particular. BCM bolt carrier group. You know, if I have a BCM rifle, I want a BCM bolt carrier group just for that continuity. And I think they make a very high quality bolt carrier group. And that's where a lot of your reliability issues can come from if you get a cheap bolt carrier group. So I always run a BCM bolt carrier group in my BCM rifles. We have an EOTech ESPS 2-0, I believe it is, this model. You know, Aimpoint, EOTech, they're all good. I like EOTechs for their very large window and the big reticle with the circle and the small precise dot. It just makes target transition and acquisition pretty easy. So I really like this red dot. The lower is a Smith & Wesson M&P lower. It's utilized from just a standard $600 AR back in the day. Probably this lower in the Smith & Wesson gun that it came off of is probably at this point 12, 15 years old. So, but this lower, it works fine for what I need it to. It just holds the parts and the trigger and all. Lowers they're all just, the same basically. My OCD, I would prefer to have a BCM lower on a BCM upper just for, to satisfy my autism. So that's maybe an upgrade down the road, but for now, it's paid for, it's SBR, it's registered. I'm rolling with it. It doesn't bother me all that much. We have a Geisley Super Semi-Automatic Enhanced, an SSAE. And as you may notice, this is a flat face trigger. Now they don't make the extreme flat face trigger like you see right here anymore. They make a less curved trigger, which is like the lightning bow, I believe it is. But this trigger, being a flat face trigger, it feels very interesting on the finger, and it almost makes the trigger seem lighter just it being flat. And then you just all around, the Geisley triggers, love them. They're just excellent, excellent triggers. So coming back to the grip, we have this BCM grip. It is a Gunfighter Mod 0 grip, so it gives you a more up and down vertical angle. So with the modern shooting style where, back in the day, they used to tell you to put your arm way out like this or whatever. So with how people shoot rifles today, I think this is the best grip. It gives that nice, comfortable angle. So coming on further back, we have a Magpul SL-K stock. So this is their SL line of stocks, which are a little bit slimmer, low profile. And this is the K version, which is even smaller. So it's shorter on the butt pad right here, and it's a little bit condensed right here. So it's just a nice, slim, low profile stock, but it still allows you to get a good purchase. I'm not missing out on anything with this smaller stock. I can still get a nice firm purchase on the stock. So great stock, love Magpul and their stocks. And then we have the sling. So this sling is a little bit dated. It's a Vikings VTAC sling. And it has this big chunk of padding, which I don't know if it's completely necessary. And then it has adjustability right here. You can tighten it and then you can loosen it. So it's a good sling. It gets the job done. Are there more updated, better versions of this sling? Of course. Do I need to go spend $50, $70, $80 to get a new one? Probably not. So this one is doing me just fine. I run it with a QD point right here on the rail, and then I just have it looped into the stock right here. So a BCM charging handle with the medium sized latch where it gives me a little bit better grip right here when I'm manipulating the gun. So I don't have a light. That's probably one thing I'll probably add is a good light so that you can see in the dark. So 100 yards was no problem. We're at about 250, 260 right here. Let's see how we do with this 11.5-inch barrel and the EOTech itself, no magnification. One miss, probably due to wind, but as you can see, this thing is a tack driver, even out here with no magnification. These BCM barrels are very, very nice. So as you may be able to see, certain aspects of this gun are a little bit dated. So we have the big, excessively long, heavy suppressor on there. Today's suppressor technology, they make much lighter, shorter cans that do pretty well. And then we have the quad rail. Everything nowadays is free float, M-lock, even some key mod left. So the rail, a little bit dated. And then we have this sling. So this sling is still an adjustable sling where you can tighten the gun down to you. You can loosen it up. But as you can see, we have this tail sticking out. In most slings nowadays, they have this piece that adjusts. It's kept within the sling itself so that there's no big tail floating around that's going to get snagged on anything. But at the end of the day, these are just trivial little things. So the quad rail, I can use it 100% functionally. It's no problem. The suppressor, it may be a little bit heavier, but a couple ounces at the end of the day, is not gonna make or break a build. And then the sling, you know, I got my tail hanging out, but you know, how many times have I got it caught on anything out here in the open flat range? That'd be 0 times. So, you know, at the end of the day, just use what you got, run it, and it'll do you very well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We have tons of content on the way, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with everything we have going on. And drop us a like and a comment if you have anything to add that we've covered today. Any of your opinions, we'd love to hear them. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. But for now, it's doing me just fine. So what I really love about this gun is the trigger. We have a Geisley SSAE super semi-automatic enhanced trigger, and this thing is just excellent. So you have like it's a 2-stage trigger. You have like a 2-pound take up, and then like a one